We all make hundreds of choices every single day. But let's be honest, most of them are just noise. What to watch, what to eat, what to wear. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're focusing on the decisions that actually build our lives. We're going to dive into a powerful framework for what we're calling an architecture of winning decisions. So let me ask you, think about it for a second. What was the last decision you made that really mattered? Maybe it was a big career move, or packing up your life and heading to a new city, or a huge personal commitment. Okay, got it? Good. Just hold that thought, because we're about to put those exact kinds of moments under a microscope and see them in a totally new light. And that's really what this is all about, right? We're talking about those big, pivotal decisions, the ones that literally set the course for our entire lives. But, and this is a big but, not all choices are created equal, not by a long shot.
There's a world of difference between choosing what to binge watch tonight and choosing a life partner. This framework we're exploring, it is specifically designed for those other kinds of choices, the heavy ones, the ones that have consequences that can stick around for years or even a lifetime.
Okay, so the very first step here is just to recognize what kind of decision we're even facing, because depending on the stakes, the rules of the game, they completely change. So on one side, you've got your routine, everyday choices. They're low stakes, pretty predictable, and usually you can hit the undo button. You mess up your coffee order, so what? No big deal. But then, on the other side, we have the significant decisions. We're talking high stakes, tons of uncertainty, and a lot of the time, there's no going back. This is the territory where having a rock-solid process becomes absolutely essential. And let's be super clear about this. A significant decision is not just a fancy way of saying a tough choice. Nope. It is a whole different class of problem. It's defined by those high stakes and that deep uncertainty. It's for those moments when the path forward is foggy, but you just know that the outcome really, truly matters.
But it's not just the decision itself that's different. It's the entire arena where we have to make these choices.
And this is such a critical point. We're not operating in some clean laboratory or a casino with perfectly known odds. We're out in the real world. And the real world, it's messy, it's interconnected, and it's always, always changing. So what does a complex real-world environment actually look like? Well, it means there are a million moving parts. It means you never have all the information you wish you had. The results are fundamentally unpredictable, and often there's no single, shiny, perfect answer just waiting for you to find it. Sound familiar at all? Yeah, I thought so.
This brings us to what is probably the most challenging part of this entire approach. But honestly, it's also the most liberating. It requires a pretty radical shift in how we think about success and especially about control. So get ready, because we're about to hit on two big ideas that might just go against everything you've ever been taught about achieving your goals. But in these complex environments we've been talking about, they're the absolute key to making better choices.
Just let that sink in for a moment. In a complex system, you cannot directly control the final result. You just can't. There are way too many variables, too much randomness, too much stuff that is completely out of your hands. Trying to force a specific outcome is just a recipe for frustration.
So, if you can't control the outcome, what can you control? Your process. That's the answer. Think about it. Let's say you're deciding on a major career change. You can't control if the new company will be a hit or if the market suddenly shifts, but you can control how well you research the industry, how many people you talk to in the field, and how honest you are with yourself about your own strengths and risks. That is where your real power lies. A great process can still lead to a bad outcome sometimes, that's life, but over time, that rigorous process is what will consistently put you in the best possible position to succeed.
And here's the second truth, and it's just as powerful. This isn't about beating the competition. It's not some zero-sum game where for you to win, somebody else has to lose. This completely reframes the whole idea of winning. A winning decision is one that is sound, well-reasoned, and right for you, given your unique situation and the information you had at the time. It shifts the focus away from some external scoreboard and puts it right where it belongs, on your own internal standard of excellence.
So how do we pull this all together? It really boils down to a foundational mindset, a whole new way of approaching these huge defining moments.
It's really these three steps. First, you have to just acknowledge the reality you're in. It's complex and you don't have all the answers. Second, you have to let go. You have to emotionally and intellectually detach from trying to control a specific outcome. And third, you pour all of your energy into the one thing you can control, building and executing a sound, rational, and really rigorous decision-making process. And the key here is that this isn't a simple checklist that's going to spit out a perfect answer. It's a mental model. Think of it as the foundation you can use to build your own process, your own architecture, for tackling the most significant challenges and opportunities in your life.
And that's the final thought I really want to leave you with. Take a good hard look at how you make your big choices. Is your process designed for a simple, predictable world? Or is it robust enough? Is it strong enough for the complex, uncertain reality that we all actually face? The answer to that question? Well, it might just be the most significant decision of all.